Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI tutorial by Slidescope. In this part, we are analyzing test match statistics of Sri Sachin Tendulkar. So you can see in the test matches, let me show it in full screen. So we have prepared a simple overview dashboard for test matches where you can see his profile information, his overview, number of matches, innings, high score, batting average, not outs, runs, hundreds, etc. Total runs by year. And this simple medal is showing it's a world record. Like no one else has made more runs than this, no one else has made more hundreds than this in test matches, international test matches. We also have host and country and continent wise information. So total runs by country, matches, innings and not outs by country, hundreds, fifties and average by country or continent is shown here. So in this part you will learn about data set that is collected for this, how we have created this simple dashboard, how we have created these pages and published the report on Power BI report server. So everything you will learn from scratch. So we will now get started. So to begin analysis and start creating some reports of Sri Sachin Tendulkar, the test matches data that we have. So here we have the data set. It is an Excel file. In the Excel file, we have several sheets. So in the first sheet, we have his profile information, full name, date of birth, age, etc. Then we have overview of the entire career in test matches versus team. So number of runs, highest score, average he scored versus a particular team. If you want to see in host country like Australia, Bangladesh, India, England, so in host country wise performance, continent wise performance is also there: Africa, America, Asia, Europe, Oceania versus Australia and New Zealand. We have match type, performance in home and performance in away matches, year wise performance, like in every year, amount of runs scored, highest score, average, etc. And he has played under many captains in his test career. So this is information of that, like Mohammad Azruddin, MS Dhoni, number of matches played, number of runs scored, and when is captain means when he was playing as a captain, number of matches played, and number of matches played as non-captain as a regular player. And this is the information, right? We also have batting position wise data. So now the job will be to connect all these files in our BI tool and start analyzing and preparing some reports. So let's see. So to start creating the dashboard, first we have to collect the Excel file here. So we will use Excel workbook and select the file where we have data. So file name is Sri Sachin Tendulkar test.xlsx, and we will load the data. And here you will see all the sheets that I just showed you earlier. So I will select all of them. Obviously, there are no common elements between them, like we have not included information of player or anything else. This is just a basic data of Sachin Tendulkar's test performance. So we will simply select them, and here you can see we have selected everything, and we will simply load the data. Once the data is loaded, we have everything here. So now we will simply add or view, go to view and choose a particular type of color that we will use to create the dashboard. And here, after selecting that, we will customize current theme, go to page background, and we will select some color that is a little bit darker than white, so that we will build our visuals over it. And this is, we'll rename it as test matches stats. So we are going to collect data because there is a lot of data, and currently we are building a test matches stats dashboard. So we will just create one, then we'll create ODI in the next part, then we'll probably create about uh, IPL or T20 matches, whatever he has played. Now we will go to insert here and add a text box here and just write the dashboard title. And after writing our title, we will simply choose a color from the palette. So let's select the blue color and we will select it and align it to center. Choose font size as 28, make it bold and just increase the height. We can go to effect and enable some shadow. So this is our dashboard title. Now, in order to show any player's performance, we can use the image. We have done that for other players also. So we will place the image here, and for image, we are selecting the image from Wikimedia Commons. Author is Blnguyen, and you can see the license, etc. I will provide this information. We will download this image and add it to our Power BI report. From here, we can select image, and then another task is to rearrange the image. Obviously, later we can choose any other image if needed, but this is the image we are going with right now. And here we are going to create some cards, or we can also select a multi-row card. So in multi-row card, we can show multiple information. For example, uh, let's say first row we are going to use for his profile information. So for profile information, we will create a multi-row card here. And I have the profile information here like age, batting style, birthplace. So first we will add name, not here, but we will first select this and add fields here. So first we will add name here. So full name, and we will also add batting style, education, date of birth. Obviously, we have to put all of them together. Playing role. You can see when we have added date of birth. So the date of birth is, appearing as this because this is being read as a date. So for date, we can once again go back to our home tab. From here, transform data tab. Obviously, it is always good to have date as date, but here, because we don't want to use it in any calculation on our line chart or anywhere else, so here we will go to DOB and right click here and change type to text. Let's replace current. Okay. In Power Query Editor, close and apply. It is applying, and now you will be able to see date of birth in a proper format. Now, whatever field name you have in your data, that appears here. So if you want to rename for the visual, you can write date of birth. Okay. So this way you will have that. So, and obviously here we have 4 or 5 different columns. So first of all, we will remove education from here. So we will keep it like this. So we have all the information because we have to increase the size also. So in your multi-row card, you can always go to format your visual part, and in format your visual, you can color your values. So let's say we want to show the values in dark blue color and make them bold. And we also have category labels, so we can make them bold as well. And here here is how you can display the data. Obviously, if you want to reduce the space, you can reduce it so that you can add more fields here, but it's your choice, right? So this is name, etc. If you want to increase the value size, for example, let's say call out value will be increased further to 14 or something. So you can do that. So this is your choice. I want a name to appear fully. So I will see how to do that. First of all, I will make a copy of it, and we will, one thing we can do, we can go here and in general tab, we can enable the shadow effect. We can copy it, and here we are going to put more fields. So we will add something like height, nicknames, education, and whatever fields you want to display here. So this way you can, add or remove whatever details you want to show here. So this is one simple information that, or one simple way of displaying the information, or you can create separate, separate cards also. So now, because this first dashboard will be an overview dashboard, so here we also have the overall overview of his career. So like here you have the overview, like span, matches, etc. So again, the first dashboard that we will create is an overview dashboard. So this will be test matches overview, and accordingly we will change the title here also, test match overview, and test matches and profile overview, because then we will create year wise performance and other things, because here it will be very closely packed. Now in overview, we will simply create a card, and here we will show information of, hundreds, 50s, etc. So let's say we will drag a value sum of hundreds. This will show sum of hundreds, so we will simply rename it as hundreds or centuries or 50s, or whatever you want to call it. And here we are going to change the category labels, font size also, and we will reduce the overall category value. So we will reduce it to 38, and this way we can reduce the height to our required height, and we will enable a simple shadow here. This is hundreds. We will just make the category label bold here, and obviously by default it shows the headings or titles on bottom. If you want to remove it, you can show it in the title also. So you can write hundreds or centuries here also. You can make it bold, align it to center, increase its font size. Okay, because the value is something that we want to show here properly, so we will select a color, and this way we can reduce the size. So this is hundreds, and here we will add number of 50s by just copying it. He has scored 68 50s, and here we will go to title and just write 50s or half centuries, whatever heading you want to give. Now we have batting average, so here we will write, instead of sum of 50s we will write batting average. So this will be batting average, and because all the fields are given, so we don't have to select any particular type of measure here. Some will automatically select the actual value. Okay, and here we will arrange them, so number of matches played, etc., everything will be there. So in the first row, let's place batting average, and let's copy it and create number of matches played. So number of matches played 200 matches. So I am just pausing, and in this I will just copy the different sheets, different type of matrix here. There is one important thing. For example, here we are showing runs. Obviously, I am rearranging it. When you are showing runs, it is showing 16K. So it automatically shows you an automatic display unit. If you want to display the exact number, you can select none in your format visual callout value setting and in display units. So this will display the entire, the runs in the exact numbers as they are and not summarizing them. If you want, you can add some additional images here representing different events, etc. But we are just showing simple details here. Now we have the overview. This is test matches overview. In overview, we can still add some more details. So we have simply rearranged the cards here, and I have used a simple medal icon to represent that he is a world record holder for maximum number of runs in his career in test match and maximum number of hundreds scored by a individual player in test matches. So you can optionally show these values also. Now since we are talking about overview, so here year wise, in the sheet, that is year wise sheet, in this sheet we have year information from 1989 to 2013, and his runs are there. So we will, if the data is like that, you can create a line chart or a bar chart for that. So if you want to show yearly performance, we will create a simple bar chart here and adjust the width. And now here in x-axis, we will drag year because that is what our independent field is. And on y-axis, we will drag number of runs. So by default, you will see something like this. What we have to do is we have to use sum here. So now this is sum of runs per year. So the data is grouped by year, and we are seeing sum of runs. You can see in calendar year 2010, he scored 1562 runs, and in calendar year 2002, he scored 1392 runs. And this is also, this record is also at sixth place. Now what we can do, we can also enable detail labels here. So data labels, if you will enable, you will be able to see runs here also. And in your, and the data is from 1989, but somehow it is showing 1985 here. So we can say year is greater than 1987, and we will apply filter. Here we also have columns, so we can change the column color to what our theme color is, and we can enable border. Let's enable a simple border color, so it will make the graphs look better, and we can, increase the border width also. So this is the number of runs by year, and here we will simply click and we will use format painter here, and instead of writing sum of runs by year, we will simply write total runs by year or per year, whatever you want to write. So this is the first dashboard, which is our test matches overview dashboard. Now we have host country wise statistics. I have simply created a new page here where we will show host country wise statistics, or we can simply write country wise statistics. And here, country or location, whatever you want to write, you can write. Here we have the sheet which has in host country. In host country, we have information of country here. So here, for example, we can simply copy the chart because we are going to use similar kind of a styling here also. And here we will just adjust it. We are going to select clustered bar chart. You can also select stacked bar chart, whatever you prefer. And here, after enabling it, after rearranging its size, what we can do, we can, instead of year, we can select country. Okay, and from here we will select runs. So you can see, obviously, host country wise, in India he has scored most number of runs, but these are the runs in other countries like Australia, England, South Africa, etc. Now, in such type of charts, you can go to format your visual anytime, and you can enable or disable the data labels. So if you want to enable or disable data labels here, you can also enable disable the title, detail, etc. or background. And here the value that we are seeing, sum of runs. So you can also use its position, for example, inside center. Okay, and if you are using inside center, let's choose a different color. So this way you will be able to show the value as well. You can reduce the value to show it. And for your values also, you have uh, the display units are auto, so you can also show in none. So this way you will be able to see the runs also. And suppose this way we are not able to see it properly, so we can again change it back to this time, right? Whatever you prefer, you can use that. So obviously I am going to show it outside, and data labels position outside, and color, the value color that we will use is same blue color. And this way we will be able to see the values properly. Now as we are seeing total runs by country, we can also show total hundreds by country. And obviously here we will simply copy this chart first. Let's see how values are displayed here. Here we have hundreds information. You can see in India he has scored 22 hundreds, Australia. So they are also pretty much in the same order. But England and Bangladesh, you can see. So against England, the centuries are 4. So this is something, if you want to show some variety in your charts, you can use a different type of chart here also. For example, we can use you know a pie chart or a donut chart, which will show total runs by country. And since we are showing total runs by country, uh, obviously different countries are obviously given different colors. Here, instead, if you want, you can show the percentage, or you can go to format your visual, and in detail label, you will see label content, that is data value and percentage. So we can only show the data value because that is important to us, right? So this is total runs by country, and this is total hundreds by country. Now let's say we want to show both hundreds and 50 by country. Okay, I'm just giving you different options here. First of all, let's make the title as total hundreds by country. Okay, now let's say we want to show both. So in that case, we can use a clustered chart. In clustered chart, let's say we put it like this. Although I'm going to delete it, but just showing you. In clustered chart, on x-axis and y-axis we have data. So on x-axis we'll definitely put the country name because it is country-wise detail. And here we can put hundreds, and we can also put 50s. Okay. So this way, in a clustered chart, you will be able to see sum of hundreds and sum of 50. So instead of sum of hundreds and sum of 50, we will rename this visual to hundreds, and we will rename this visual to 50s, so hundreds and 50s, and you can obviously copy its formatting and align it to center. The legend that you are seeing here, hundreds and 50s, you can go into legend setting and you have title if you want to use any title like detail if you want. Otherwise, you can increase its font size, make it bold, okay, and we can also reposition it to center left or top center, whatever you prefer, right? This way, hundreds and 50 by country can be shown. So this is something that you can use, and you can see it is automatically arranged it also. So somehow we are not able to see the country name if that is the case. So you have a lot of space here. So you can go to data labels, or here it is axis. So we will use x axis and increase the font size of x axis, make it bold. So you can see the values now. And here instead of by country, we will simply show continent. So we also have continent wise data. So somehow we have not created any type of you know relationship between these two tables. So that's why we have to bring continent in legend and values between. In values we have to write hundreds, right? So this is total hundreds by country, by continent. So he has scored 33 hundreds in Asia, and then in Oceania 8 hundreds, in 5 in Africa, 4 in Europe, and 1 in Americas. If you want, you can change the slices color also. So I will select this color for Asia and select this color for Africa or maybe something else. Whatever you want to choose, you can select. This is the information. And we can change simply the title also. This is total hundreds by continent. Now, let's say we have hundreds and 50 by country. Let me show some changes. Just a minute. So here you can see hundreds and 50 by country and everything. Uh, there is one more thing that we can do. Let's say we select line and stacked column, or we can select line and clustered column. So if we select line and clustered column, it will not make any difference on this graph. But now what we can do, we can bring another visual here, and that visual we will use as line chart. Or we can use another matrix here. So here you can see in line y axis. So in line y axis we will bring average. Okay, so this way you will be seeing average by different countries, and instead of sum of average we will use only average. Okay, and now when you will go to your format case in secondary y axis, you can select align zeros. So this way you will have your secondary axis here. So this is the average. You can see against Bangladesh average is 136.66, against Australia 53, again against, or in India it is 52.6 again, and so on. So this way you will be able to see three different metrics on one chart. Okay. Now let's say now we are showing total hundreds by continent, and the chart we have selected is a pie chart. But for this type of cases, we can also use a field map. So when you will select a field map, it will show something like this. Obviously, it is going to select different continents accordingly. Now here, just let whatever what you want to show, let it be. Here, when you will go to format your visual, go to fill color. Here we will first you can enable show all, right? If you want to give different type of colors to different continents, you can give. But if you want to give on the basis of value, so you can click on this function. In rules, select gradient, and instead of count of continent, select continent wise, which is the table. And here we will select runs because we want to show the gradient run wise. Now lowest value, let's say for lowest value we will show this color, okay, and for highest value we will show this color. So this way lowest value, that means where he has scored in the continent where he has scored lowest runs, will be displayed with this color, and continent with highest runs will be displayed with this color. And now you will be able to see that, right? So you can see for Asia we have the highest value, and this way we have the darkest value, and we can remove this formatting. You can also show all, and here you can see if you want to change you can change them, but if you want to show a value like this, it is like this, right? And here you can add a middle color also. Let just showing you different type of option. So this way you will be able to see runs by continent. And here we have these things. We have map setting. This is different type of style, like you can select Arial, you know. So let's select Arial or dark or light, whatever you want to keep, but we can select it accordingly. And this is not total hundreds, this is actually total runs by continent. So total runs by continent. Now let's say you don't want to do all of this exercise, you can simply bring runs in legend field. So that way also you will be able to show this. And suppose you want to zoom or provide some kind of controls, so like zoom button we can provide. So that way we will be able to zoom a specific area or remove it. So and geocoding culture is auto, so, and which is showing the data. So this is whatever you can do because we have only 5 continents here. Here's code, so we can easily select color. Otherwise, you can select the gradient is style color. So after calculating that, we can similarly copy this visual here, and we can also drag something like average by country, which we are already displaying here. So we can also write total number of matches and not outs by country. So for that, first of all, we will convert it into a column chart. So and here we will just resize it. We'll resize this also. And here instead of runs and continents, not here, here on x-axis we have country instead of runs. You will also see number of matches. So here you can see we don't have any option for sum, etc. So this means it is not being read as a numeric value. So if something is not being read as a numeric value, you can always go back to transform data, and like in host country you can see we have matches ABC 1 2 3, right? We know that it's a whole number, so we'll change its type to whole number. And similarly here in case of high score also, right? So in case of high score we can select change type to, first we will change type to text. After changing type to text we will replace values. So here this asterisk sign is there, so we will find asterisk sign and replace with blank. So now we have all numbers, and we will now change its type back to whole number. So now it will become number 1 2 3. We will close and apply. Okay, now when we will let it apply, when we will select that, we will be able to see sum. So here you can see number of matches played in each country, and here we also have not out, right? So obviously in case of stacked you will be able to barely see it. So that's why we can also change it to line and stacked column chart. Okay, if you select line and stacked column chart in line axis, because see sum of runs is something different, and total not out it is different, or matches is different. So we can also drag it like this. And instead of count of NO, again NO is also which we have to change. So this is something that you have to do as a starting. In NO also, here we can directly change it to whole number. I was making some changes, maybe because of that it happened. Similarly, innings is also, number of innings is also, we will change to whole number and change type to whole number. And let me check others. Span is okay. Runs, I score average. Zeros is something that we can write, but we are not using zeros here for analysis. If you want to bring total number of zeros, you can bring that. And here you can see now, instead of count of NO, we can select sum, and that way we will be able to see, this line. When you will go there, you can see secondary line axis, you can see values, title, etc. So you can select that. In lines, you have all series, and you will be able to see the color. You can use a different type of color for line. That is your choice. And this is matches and not outs, right? This is matches. You can also bring innings here. So because it's a clustered chart, so we can bring. So this is matches, innings, and not outs by country. Okay, we can also select this one. So it will show you matches also, or you can select this one, whatever you prefer. So this is our chart, which is matches, innings, and not outs by country. And we will simply change it to host country slash continent wise, because these two are almost similar thing. Continent, obviously if you have to see continent wise or country wise, we can select some kind of, dynamic measure also, and we will simply copy this here and paste it here and just create it different type of space. And here we will just write hundreds and 50 and country. Instead of country, we will simply select the continent name. So, and obviously because these are not interrelated, so we have to first remove everything from here, and then in x-axis we have to bring continent, and in column y-axis we have to bring 100, column y-axis will bring 50, and in line y-axis we will bring average. So this is our simple information, like continent wise average and continents wise number of hundreds and fifties, and we can also put runs here. So like we have, put total runs by country, total runs by continent, we have average by country, and we will just change the title to continent. Now since we have some space on top, like for example here, after creating two different charts, okay, we will simply go to insert, and in insert we will select buttons. From here we will select navigator, page navigator. So page navigator will give us this type of buttons. First of all, we will, just decrease their size. Here for example we have a space here, so we can keep it here, and here we will create some space on top. Obviously we can align it to left hand side, and we can, or maybe center it is, so we will just create some space here. Okay, so here the navigator that we have will help us in, obviously, navigation. So we can also change its, formatting. This is shape. We can say instead of rectangle we can say rounded rectangle. In a style, font color is there, border is there, you can enable a shadow, you can enable a glow. That is all your choice, right? Whatever you want to bring. Let's disable the glow, enable the shadow. And in fill, you can see the color is there. So we can select this color. Obviously, something that is selected will appear like this. And here we can increase the font size here. Okay. This is text, and here in fill, when we have selected this, so in the text font color, we will select a light color. Okay. So we will select a little value. Yeah. So it will automatically create your pages like test match overview, host country wise, and similarly all here also. So here also we can do the same kind of thing, or we can copy that. But I'll just want to use two different type of buttons here. So font style this, and we will not enable any shadow or anything here. Here we will just use fill color as the dark blue color. Okay. So if you prefer this style, you can copy and paste it here. So however you want to show your buttons, you can select that. Now, because we are still in the creator mode, right? So these buttons will not work. So what we have to do, and you can see when we are hovering over, so here you have a style, and you will be seeing on hover, right? Let me show you. So fill is there, and in fill we have a state here. In a state, in case of hover, let's say font will be this, but fill color will change to something lighter. So this way you will be seeing that. Now after doing this, we can simply save our report, and we can save as Power BI report server. First we have to enable the report server. So we'll open report server configuration manager. If you don't have report server, you don't have to worry about it, but it is started, and you can simply publish on Power BI service also. But since we have it locally, so we can write Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar test stats. Okay, because very soon we'll be creating ODI stats also. It will take some time to get published, and now you can click take me there. Now we have the data. We'll click on view and full screen. So in full screen view, you will be able to analyze the data. So if you will select test match overview, you will be able to see that, and host country wise, you will be able to see that. This way, you can see the performance, and let me make it full width. Yeah. So this way, you will be see the data. Everything here is dynamic. Obviously, since these two are from different charts, so we have to create some kind of modeling between them, which we will do later. But this is a simple chart to show his performance in test matches. So we have selected test match overview and host country wise. Just for test matches also, we have a lot of other data. So we will bring, for test matches itself, we will bring part 2, where we will add more dashboards into this particular report, and we will create that. This is the first part. If you like this, if you learned something new from this, you can subscribe to our channel. Please like the video, share your support, and if you have any queries, you can ask them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.